Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. Today we're going to have a look at American Pie by Don McLean. It's an absolute acoustic guitar classic. Before we get into today's class, I would think it's worth mentioning you can download a free PDF for this lesson from the first link in the description. That'll take you to our private Facebook group, and every PDF for every lesson I've ever done on YouTube you can download there for free. If Facebook's not your thing, head to the second link in the description and that'll take you to our email list. You can sign up for that and you'll get all of the fresh new tabs every week into your inbox completely for free. I'd recommend doing it with this for this lesson. It's 3 pages that you can sort of lay out in front of you. I'm taking you through all the slides on the computer now, but I'm banking on you having a really good idea of the song, because the song's not actually that difficult to play, but structurally it's got quite a lot in it. So let's get into it. Download the PDF if you can. Right, G, C, E minor, D, A minor and D over F are our chords today. Now if you remember from Shallow and the finger picking course, D over F is a D chord with the thumb over the top. It's basically keeping that D chord and we press the 2nd fret of the E string. Now I like to use my thumb for that, or you can have a shuffle around. If this is too difficult for you, just play a regular D chord and I'm sure it'll sound just fine. So the intro to this song I call Free Time. It's very liberal with the timing. So what I mean by that is we're going off Don McLean's lyrics. A long, long time ago, I could still remember, etc. You can hear, it might be worth printing off some lyrics to go with it as well. Now, I've sort of gone very loose. I've sort of laid the timing out very loosely, but I want you to be able to push and pull it a little bit with what Don McLean's singing, okay? So we're going to play a G chord to begin with really quickly, and then we're going to go to that F sharp over D. Now if you can't get your thumb over the top, just play a regular D chord and it'll sound just fine. And then we get to the E minor, and I've written that here for 2 beats. You've got 1 beat, 1 beat, 2 beats. G, D, E. Then we got A minor, I can still remember. So that's A minor to C, and all I'm doing there is moving that ring finger. Can still remember how that music used to make me smile. So you see how in bars 2 and 3, it's pretty much 2 beats per bar. A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, you'll really feel at the end here, before you hit the repeat marker and you go back to the beginning, you'll really feel them push and pull the time in here. And you'll hear on that D chord at the very end, you'll hear the piano play a little lick like that, and that's just playing around with the 2nd, 3rd and open on that high E. See what I'm doing there? Your ear should be able to pick that out. You'll have heard that before. Things like Crazy Little Thing Called Love have that in. Now we're going to repeat this twice. And then after we've repeated it again, we go into this sort of more solemn section, which hits this E minor. So this is the 2nd page of the PDF. Sorry, the 2nd line of the PDF. And this is February made me shiver with every paper I delivered. So we've got E minor and A minor for the first 2 bars, lasting for 2 beats a piece. And I'm just doing all downstrokes here, because we're mimicking the piano here, because it's just the piano and Don McLean singing, okay? 3rd bar, you've got a quick C, a quick E minor, and a quick A minor, and that's bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step, I think is the lyric. So you've got February made me shiver with every paper I delivered. Bad news on the doorstep. You'll have to forgive my singing. I'm a little bit bunged up today, but you get the idea. If you can talk the words over this, it will make so much more sense, because sometimes the vocal leads the charge in these songs, and this definitely the start and the finish of this song, because it's all about the story, isn't it? So we've done the sort of first 2 sort of calmer parts. We then go, it's just a continuation. Now, I'm just thinking of the lyrics off the top of my head. So from here it'd be last train for the coast, the day the music died. You see underneath, there's that G chord and you see the washing line. You're just going to play that G chord at bar 12 and you're going to let it ring out for ages. So let me just show you from that bit, because you've got to kind of see them together, and this is why having the PDF will help you. You've got February made me shiver, with every paper I deliver, bad news on the doorstep, I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I heard about his widowed bride. We're here. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died. Can you hear how, like, even though, like, I've just come back from sort of being off, I haven't taught a lesson, this is the first lesson I've taught in like 10 days, and I've not touched a guitar in all that time. And isn't it funny how lyrics can really help you carry you through a song, you know? And that's a really good example of that, how you've got G, F, E, C, D. It's kind of a bit of a call and response thing. Again, please download the PDF for this, because it's all going to be laid out in front of you, and we're just sort of nearing the back end of the first page here. So then we get into the first chorus, which is a very kind of stripped back version of what we've been working on. Now, all we're going to do to start with, everything we've done so far is downstrokes, and this bit's no exception. So this is where it's everybody just starts to kind of, in the band, starts to back up Don McLean. So you've got 2 G's, 2 C's, G, D. It's starting to sound more like American Pie now, isn't it? G, C, G, D. This is a great muscle memory exercise for those of you that are sort of in the first 12 to 18 months of playing. So that's bye, Miss American Pie. And it's really slow, is this bit. Chevy to the levee, but levee was dry. We then continue on. Bar 18, good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye. We hit a big fat E minor, and that'll be that this'll be the day that I die. Second line, bar 22, we'll hit another E minor. This'll be the day that I... Now, when we hit this D chord, we sort of really... That's where the drummer starts to put that drum fill in, and the band really picks up the tempo. The difference in tempo between bar 22, where that singular E minor is, and where that D chord is massive. And you'll hear, as it plays those 2 bars of D, I just want you to do downstrokes there. You'll hear the band start to do, the guitarist start to do some strumming there. You just do downstrokes in that bit, because I don't want you to focus on the strumming pattern. I want you to focus on staying in time with the band, because we're going to get to the strumming pattern in the next slide, and it's a lot quicker than it feels like it is. I think the lyric is, did you write the book of love? So we're going for like a down, down, up, down, up strumming pattern. So you've got down, down, up, down, up. It's very similar to the strumming pattern that we worked on the channel a lot, but we've just got a cheeky little upstroke at the end. Down, down, up, down, up. And we'll do that on a G chord. I'm trying to think of the lyric. Did you write the book of love? Da, 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 da. Those of you that have not seen any of my lessons before, I'm not much of a singer, but hopefully this is getting you through it. Pause the video and get that bit under your fingers, because we're going to be doing this strumming pattern a lot, and I want you to get really, really comfortable with that strumming pattern. I also want you to notice the open bracket for the repeat marker all the way over here for the verse at bar 25. We're going to come back here numerous times. There's not a lot of repeats in this song, but this is like the most crucial one. If there's one that you don't miss, it's this one here, okay? So just earmark verse at bar 25. G, A, C, A minor, E minor, this just carries on, D, 2 bars of D, to G, you believe in rock and roll, A minor, something about a moral soul, E minor, A minor. Now you'll see these two blocks of D in bar 30 and bar 38. You'll hear the piano do this sort of, you know, like in the beginning where I'm messing around on that note. If your ear can pick it out, by all means, please play it. If I weren't under the microscope, that's what I'd be playing right now. So that's the end of the verse, and I feel like the verse ends at what we call the pre-chorus, and that's the it's got these really big kind of like stabs on E minor and D. I think the lyric is, I know that you're in love with him, saw you dancing in the gym. Then we get to this C chord here. Now, those of you that haven't seen many of my lessons before, when I've got just the 4 dashes in the bar, that just means that you're going to play the regular strumming pattern that we've been playing for the majority of the song, which is the down, down, up, down, up strumming. So you're going to catch these stabs, E, D, E, D, then going to play a C, A minor, G, those rhythm and blues. Following that, we then hit sort of the second part. It's almost like verse 2. There's something crazy like 8 verses in this song. Even though it tells you to repeat the verse 4 times in the PDF, it's there's 2 verses per repetition. So this is just the same as what we've previously done. G, E minor, A minor, C. Just carry on, same thing over again. G, E minor, C, D, and the lyric's still the same towards the end of this. The music died. We started singing, and the next bit's the chorus. I'm just going to have a quick muddle around with my slides, and we'll come back and we'll look at the rest of the song. Right, I'm back for part 2. So let's get into this chorus then. So now you've 2 options here. In the first chorus, I was saying you can keep the we were doing downstrokes and it was all nice and chill. In this one, you can try and put the upstroke at the end if you want, but you've got to remember that we've only got two beats on each chord. And to be honest, I would just stick for downstrokes in this because when the band are picking this up, they're really clattering through it. If you wanted to put an upstroke at the end in between those chords, so instead of down, 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 you're going down, down, up, down, down, up. That's entirely up to you, but to be honest, if you were sat across from me now and I was teaching this to you, I would be saying just do downstrokes there, but really make sure they're really powerful and play it with some gusto. So the top is exactly the same. In fact, it's all exactly the same as what we've previously done. So starting from bar 56, you've got bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Second line, G, D, G, D. Sorry, I said G, D, G, D. G, C, G, D. And then we're going to hit that big fat E minor for 4 beats. This'll be the day that I died. C, A minor. Moving on, this'll be the day that I died. This bit looks awfully similar to the beginning, doesn't it? Before the band pick it up. And notice how there's a reciprocal repeat marker down here. And it says ×4. That open repeat marker at the start of verse 1. So if you've got the PDF laid out, you should be sort of halfway down page 3 now. Take that repeat marker that we've just hit, this one here, all the way over here. I want you to get a highlighter and I want you to scribble it in a bright colour. And I want you to go all the way back to the verse on page 1, where the open of that repeat marker is, and scribble that in the same colour. You're going to go between those 2 repeat markers 4 times, and that's the bulk of the song. All of the sections in the song, you're just going to follow it through, follow it through, follow it through, follow it through. Upon doing it for the 4th time, you'll hear that the band kind of disperse and it goes back to how it started, where it's just Don McLean playing by himself. That's what this next bit is. And notice how it's awfully reminiscent of how the song starts, and that's because it pretty much bookends the song with the same way. So we've got the just the same. We're going to repeat this twice. I think the lyric is the three men that I admire the most: the Father, the Son, and the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Just the same, and as before, we're going into the February Made Me Shiver. Now, I can't remember the lyric off the top of my head because we're kind of like 8 minutes into this song now. It's a bloody long one. Just the same, there's nothing different here. The only thing that's different about this song, you know, still last train for the coast, the day the music died. There's nothing new in those 3 slides. I know I'm rattling through it fairly quickly, but it's exactly the same as how it starts. All I'd say is the tempo is just a little bit faster than it is at the beginning, and I think it's worth mentioning, every time we cycle around those 4 repeats of the 2 verses and the chorus, I feel like it gets faster and faster and faster, and I think it's just the drummers really, really keen and having a good time, so who am I to judge? We go through intro with the free time, February Made Me Shiver, into the day the music died, and then we get into the sort of big final chorus. Now this is the bit where they all kind of, it's a double chorus, and you'll see some repeat markers that we'll talk about in a second, but it's like the big jamboree, the big sort of sing song at the end, and this is the part, you know, when I have had to play this at functions and things, everybody's kind of very, very drunk and having a very good time, but they're all sort of singing this back to you, and it's a nice moment. Nothing new here from the previous choruses, but the tempo has dropped drastically from the last time that you played this. So we're still in, and I'm just going to keep those downstrokes going like we have done for the whole song. Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Second line, and good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye. E minor, this'll be the day that I die. Now as we get to the second slide, we've got alternate endings here, so I'm going to, because we're doing the first repeat, I'm going to play this top line. This'll be the day that I die. Notice how we hit a repeat marker, so we go back to the chorus in question and we start from here, we play the chorus exactly the same, and this is the very last time is where all the backing vocals come in and they're all going bye bye, you know, they're doing it again, we know what it sounds like. After you've played that, on the second repeat, instead of playing this top line, you're going to play the one underneath, which is a bar of E minor, a bar of A minor, and then a big fat E minor to finish. Now it's going to do what's called a RAL in that from bar 91. And what a RAL means, if you imagine a train pulling into a train station, it doesn't just sort of screech in and stop. It has to slow down on approach, doesn't it? A RAL, you can hear it all sort of coming down. The whole piece is sort of getting slower and slower and slower, and it finishes on that E minor chord. If I put the two together, I'm looking at the bottom line here, it'd be E, A. Can you hear how I just sort of gradually slowed it down over 2 bars, and everybody finishes at the same time on this E minor. A little bit of a different lesson for me today. I was struggling for something to do today, and I figured that this is always a popular one and it might just help some of you in the group. Please go get the PDF. It's really going to help you with this. And say hello in the Facebook group. There's loads of really nice people in there, and it'd be great to have you. I'll see you next week for another acoustic guitar lesson. Thank you so much.